Hello. This movie is presented by Golden Minutes. Movie's name: Free Guy. Director: Sean Levy. Casts: Ryan Reynolds, Jodie Comer, Joe Carey, Taika Waititi, Dwayne Johnson. Genre: action, comedy, science fiction. Product: 2021 USA. Movie's story: Free City is a city where strange heroes live. Heroes who wear smoked glasses and behave as they want, lawlessness in the city, murder, robbery, etc. Guy, he is a citizen of Free City. He is a bank employee and lives alone, although he also has a fish named Goldie. Guy wakes up every morning and puts on one of his blue shirts and goes to the cafe. There, the best coffee in the world, he drinks mild coffee with cream and 2 cups of sugar and greets him with Sarkar Yani. Then, he walks towards the shoe store. He looks at his favorite $200 pair of shoes from behind the window and then checks his bank account to buy the shoes. After that, he follows his only friend, Buddy, and they walk to the bank. Every day, Guy feels satisfied with the repetitive routine of his life, and in the meantime, only one thing bothers him: having a companion. Then, the robbers enter the bank and Guy and Buddy are lying on the floor discussing Guy's future wife. In another corner of the city, a man goes to Molotov and shows him a video he found to prove the secret stage. Molotov also kills the man after receiving the video. Guy and Buddy leave the bank and head for the beach. Midway, Molotov walks past Guy humming Guy's favorite song. Guy is startled by Molotov. Molotov is also surprised by Guy's reaction and considers this to be new. Guy repeats the happy song, and, assuming that he has found the girl of his dreams, follows Molotov. Then, while standing on the train tracks to call Molotov, he collides with the train. Millie saves the game at this point and watches the Free City 2 teaser, not too happy about the ad. At this moment, the coffee chi brings Millie to herself and asks her to leave the cafe after 4 hours. Millie also states that the reason for playing the game is to find evidence of the game publisher's crime, and not to love it. The next day, Guy wakes up and after greeting Goldie, goes to the cafe and this time asks the barista to give him a cappuccino instead of a mild coffee with cream and 2 sugars. The barista, as well as everyone in the audience, is surprised, and Johnny's boss threatens Guy with death. So Guy decides to go with the usual plan and settle for mild coffee. After that, he goes to the bank. Then, as usual, the burglars come in. Afterwards, while Guy is lying on the ground, he sees Molotov walking across the street. Guy decides to follow Molotov. Buddy tries to convince him that the smoky glasses crowd doesn't care about others. But Guy doesn't give up and this time he decides to take the bank robber's smoky glasses and use them to start his relationship with Molotov. He gets into a fight with the thief and ends up accidentally killing him and getting the glasses. Guy goes to the street and puts the glasses on his eyes. The surrounding world changes and a tool is provided to control the surroundings and achieve goals. At first, he touches the first aid box and in addition to the disappearance of his injuries, he gets a new life. Then he touches the money around a loser and increases his bank account to $2,187. So he takes $200 from the ATM to buy shoes. Keys, in the handling of Soonami Company's complaints, the creator of the Free City game asks his friend Mauser to help him solve the problem of hacking one of the NPCs. So Keys, disguised as a kitty cop, and Mauser, disguised as a cop dressed as a rabbit, enter the game and try to learn the identity of Guy's guiding user. They call Guy Blue Shirt and ask him to come out of his shell and show his true colors. Guy also doesn't understand what Keys and Mauser said about the shell. At this moment, Keys and Mauser, who think that Guy, a professional hacker, is hiding behind the scenes, decide to eliminate him. Guy runs away and ends up in a half-built building. He uses the jump tool, which has only 3 left, and finally reaches the upper floors of the building after completing the jumps. Keys and Mauser also activate God mode and quickly reach Guy. Guy finds a way to escape and runs towards it. Then he falls down without catching the rope. At this moment, the rescue tube option is activated and covers Guy's entire body and protects him from danger. But in the end, he is killed by an accident with Keys and Mauser. Mauser rejoices in the destruction of the alien agent of the game, but Keys is worried about the existence of the blue shirt. Because by checking the server information after the destruction of Guy, he noticed no change in the number of online users. So he decides to solve the problem with Antwan, the president of the company will inform. But Mauser gets in the way. After that, Millie watches her interview from several years ago, an interview in which they talk about life itself. He and Keys design this artificial intelligence with each other's help, but apparently its codes are stolen by Antwan. In the interview, Millie talks about her love for mild coffee with cream and 2 sugars, and Keys about her love for the world of coding. Keys arrives at his house and asks Millie to leave his house. Because communication with Millie is a violation of the cooperation agreement with Antwan, Millie remembers Antwan's theft and Keys believes that Antwan bought the game and then archived it. But Millie isn't convinced and talks about the evidence obtained. The next morning, Guy wakes up, this time wearing one of his different shirts, and goes looking for Molotov. Millie also starts the game and opens the received video footage and finds the ammo cache. He appears in front of the warehouse and checks the security conditions. Meanwhile, Guy arrives and the warehouse guards notice their presence. Millie is forced to retreat. Guy also uses this opportunity and goes with him. He tries to get close to Millie. Millie first shows her game level, which is 195, and Guy's level, which is still level 1. Guy asks how to go about it and Millie tells him that everything is free in Free City and he can level up by stealing and killing. Of course, Guy doesn't agree. Millie also suggests him to increase his level by doing good and benevolent deeds. After that, until the day he reaches level 100, they say goodbye. Guy goes to the city center and tries to level up as fast as possible by helping others and saving them go through. He dies over and over, but also increases his level. After some time, the media is curious and surprised about the performance of this blue shirt user. Different people give different opinions. Some believe that the blue shirt is actually an NPC, but in that case, his clever performance seems strange. After many days when Guy reaches rank 102, he goes to the bank and tries to introduce Buddy to this new life. He asks Buddy to put the smoky glasses on his eyes and see life from a different angle. A life that people themselves make and can change. Guy leaves the bank after seeing Buddy's fear and anxiety. Millie asks Keys for help in getting into the ammunition depot. Keys also decides to facilitate Millie's entry. Millie enters and finds the desired video, but at this moment the alarm goes off and the security agents target Millie. Then, while Millie is surrounded and Keys is unable to help, Guy enters through the window. Then both are surrounded. After some thought, they find a way out and finally, to get rid of it, they make a dangerous jump with a motorcycle. Keys makes sure Millie is safe and returns to the company with Mauser's message about Antwan's arrival. Antwan asks his employees not to remove the blue shirt, because it has become very popular among the people. In Fairy City, GA shows the level up loot to Millie. Millie is surprised by Guy's speed and senses that his behind-the-scenes user is one of Soonami's employees. Guy talks about his job at the bank. Then they walk together and Guy offers his favorite gummy ice cream to Millie. Millie is also excited that someone else likes this ice cream. In Soonami, Keys examines the NPC shells and eventually finds Guy. But as soon as he opens his information, many errors appear on the monitor. Millie and Guy walk and talk together for hours. Finally, Guy expresses his interest in Millie, and Millie accepts it. At the same time, there is a knock on Millie's apartment door. So she says goodbye to Guy and of course asks him to see each other in the real world. Millie exits the game and opens the door. Keys comes in and happily mentions that their designed AI is working properly in Free City. He mentions Guy and declares him to be the first successful artificial intelligence, and also mentions the barista who made a cappuccino by trial and error instead of regular coffee. Millie becomes sad because she is attached to Guy's character. Keyes is surprised by Millie and Guy's interest. Then he remembers the new Free City series. By examining the teaser and its advertisements, he realizes that Free City 2 is actually a replacement for Free City 1 and it's not update, and this means that Free City will be destroyed with all its NPC skins, and to prevent this destruction, only 48 hours left. So Millie enters the game to enlist Guy's help to save Free City. Seeing Guy, she takes him to where the other players are gathered. Millie explains that all this city is a game and everyone present, the players of this game are, except for the NPCs. Guy doesn't understand, and Millie explains that actually Guy and the townspeople who don't have smoky glasses are the only black part of this game, to make the game seem more interesting and realistic for the players. Guy is surprised and tells Millie about his love. Millie even knows this love from her programming in codes. Guy becomes depressed and sad and leaves Millie for home. Along the way, he mocks the others and tries to make them aware of the fact that none of them are real. Then he goes to the coastline and realizes that he is unable to cross it. Then he goes to Buddy's house and asks him for help. Guy asks her to pretend it's not real and express her feelings. Buddy also tries to save Guy from distress with a bit of arrogance. Then he tells her that he doesn't care if the world is real or not, and that the only thing that matters is that this moment and empathy with his friend is real, and that's enough. Guy calms down and asks for Buddy's help in finding the video that is in the ammunition depot. Knowing the warehouse guards, Buddy easily lets Guy into the warehouse. After entering, Battle arrives and is surprised by Guy and Buddy's presence. Guy demands Battle to hand over the video file, threatening him with an air gun. Battle, who saw the famous blue shirt, delighted, he easily and without any conflict gives the video to Guy, to make it trend on social media. Guy happily goes to Millie and gives her the film. After that, the man in the blue shirt becomes a trend again in social networks and is discussed and commented on again and again. Antwan, who seeks to attract the attention of the players to the second series of Free City and as a result of selling and making a profit from it, gets angry with the high attention of users to Guy and asks his employees to destroy him. Keyes reminds that Guy is an NPC and cannot be removed. Antwan also asks his employees for a solution to remove the wise NPC. As Keyes tries to dissuade Antwan, Mauser suggests a reboot. Then, as Millie opens the film and sees the original version of her design, the same version that proves Antwan's theft, Guy comments on the familiarity of the setting. At this moment, Mauser presses the reboot button and the world of Free City goes into a coma and then goes into absolute blackout. Millie tries to re-enter and talk to Guy. But Guy has forgotten everything. Millie gets frustrated and then Keyes calls and tells her about the AI not dying. Because artificial intelligence isn't destroyed by rebooting, and only by destroying the servers, artificial intelligence also stops working. Keyes continues that during the coding of his life, he designed a character who was looking for his lost half, and in his codes, the ideal girl, she was a girl with traits similar to Millie. So Guy, seeing his ideal girl, Molotov or Millie, finds a different direction, and in fact, the path of its codes goes in a direction other than the written program. With this explanation, Keyes considers Millie as the agent of changing the codes on the way to the correct functioning of artificial intelligence. Therefore, he asks him to try again to make this change in Guy. Millie enters the game and enters the bank instead of the usual robber. She takes Guy hostage and asks him to remember the past. Guy resists and doesn't remember anything, even with the smoked glasses. This time, Millie is forced to kiss Guy, and finally, this kiss and the injection of love into Guy changes the course of the codes for the second time. Guy remembers everything and invites Millie to his apartment. Shaking the shutter, he reflects the beautiful plane of the original. Millie discovers that Antwan has hidden the original behind the horizon after using their codes, but hasn't removed the reflection. Guy warns Millie that crossing the coastline is not possible. Millie asks Guy to think about it and asks Keys for help. Keys, however, doesn't consider a path to cross obstacles as possible. Guy suggests that it might be better to reduce Antwan's powers by forming an alliance between the NPCs. So it gathers all the people of the city. He informs people about repeating unnecessary things every day and tells about life in his own way and desire. He urges people not to surrender to fate and predetermined plans. On the other side of the city, players enter the game and encounter a city empty of NPCs. Users on virtual networks are surprised by this incident and ask Antwan to return the blue shirt to the game. Antwan, seeing the comments of users, he gets upset that at the same time, he is informed by one of his employees about Millie's presence in front of him and behind the scenes of Molotov. He asks Mauser to kill Millie in the game. But Mauser considers this action impossible. Because the military and security forces and actually all the NPCs are on strike. Antwan asks Mauser to destroy Guy and Millie by destroying the buildings. But again, with the help of Keys, a bridge is built and Guy and Millie are saved. Afterwards, Antwan asks his employees to upload his new character and use it to destroy Guy and Molotov. Keys informs Antwan of finding out the truth about the theft of the codes. Then, while talking to him, he creates a bridge for Guy to cross the shoreline. Antwan also gets angry at this action and fires Keys and asks Mauser to remove all the players from the game. Millie also exits the game, before asking Guy to continue. A new character named Tyke Kalam enters the game and enters the battle with Guy. Keys also activates the live broadcast of the continuation of the game when leaving the company. Millie and all the people watch the battle between Tyke Kalam and Guy. Guy falls down several times. At this moment Buddy arrives and helps Guy. Guy eventually wears smoky glasses and finds the ability to overcome speech impediment. But again, Tyke Kalam prevails and tries to break Guy's ribs with his hands. This time, Guy puts smoky glasses on Tyke Kalam's eyes and introduces him to the colorful and strange world of the game. Tyke Kalam is also amused and amazed by it and forgets the fight with Guy. Antwan gets very angry about this incident and decides to completely destroy Free City by destroying the servers. Keys notices Antwan entering the server room and informs Millie. Mauser tries to dissuade Antwan. But it doesn't succeed. As a result, Mauser realizes that Keys and Millie's claim about the theft of the codes by Antwan, it's true. So he doesn't show Antwan the main servers. Antwan also fires Mauser for disobeying his instructions to the servers. After that, it destroys the servers one by one and with each attack, a part of the city is destroyed and destroyed. Guy and Buddy run as fast as they can on the bridge. But the cracks in the bridge, between these two, it creates distance. Buddy asks Guy to be as brave as ever and finish this mission alone. Guy runs and finally passes the shoreline. He lands in the beautiful plane in front of the worried and startled eyes of the audience and shows the world the original version of Keys and Millie. Millie arrives at Soonami's server room and asks Antwan to stop destroying the servers. Instead, Keys and Millie, they will not claim compensation and profit from the sale of Free City. Antwan accepts and the story ends well. After some time, Keys, along with Millie and Mauser, form their own group life and restart the artificial intelligence. At the same time, the Soonami company faces many complaints about the bugs of the second series of the game, and as a result, Antwan is handed over to the legal authorities. Mauser asks Keys to express his interest in Millie. Keys tries to invite Millie out for coffee, but Millie decides to play along and doesn't accept Keys' offer. Keys also goes out to buy coffee. Millie enters the game and sees Guy. Guy reminds her that he has always been in love with her. He also admits that this feeling probably originates from the program and codes that Keys wrote. As a result, Millie's real madman is waiting for her in the real world. Millie remembers Keys' past talk about Guy's algorithm being activated. He considered Millie to be the reason for changing the codes. Therefore, after seeing this video, Millie realizes Keys's love and interest and eagerly follows him to inform him of this knowledge. She finds Keys in front of the cafe and after a few moments of being attracted to him, she hugs him. Guy also while in the arms of Tyke Kalam, he wanders the street, hears the sound of wind and finally finds him. They decide to spend the rest of their lives the way they like. Thanks for watching Golden Minutes. For more recapped movies, please subscribe the channel and turn on the notification.